If you're interested in the Bowflex adjustable kettlebell, then keep on watching. Hi, I'm Lola, personal trainer and nutrition coach on a mission to shape a better you together. And today we are reviewing the Bowflex Selecttech 840 adjustable kettlebell. Let's beast it. So as we open the box, on top we have all the documentation that we need, and because we have about 6-7 of them, I presume these are in 7 different languages. So I got the kettlebell out of the box, and right now it is as you see, standing on its support. Yes, it has a support, and I'm going to show you. So from this view that you have, as you can see, we have the mechanical dial here. Right now it is set to 40 pounds, which is equivalent to 18 kilograms. I did mention a support, and here is the support that comes with the kettlebell. So it's I think it's a good idea actually that we have a support. Right now it's 12 pounds, and these are all the weights, each plate that adds to the weight. So the plates, this is what they look like. They're pretty heavy. Yeah, so all the plates are this way and they are numbered. So the very last one that rests on the support is numbered 5. Then we have the one going right on top of it, which is 4, and 3, 2, 1 is already in the kettlebell. And when you deal with this plate, this weighted plate, you need to be careful not to pinch your fingers. And what they are made of, I'm not sure. This looks like the outside looks like strong plastic, and the weight inside, of course, but it's very neat. It's very neat to the touch. But like I said, you just need to be, like, when you deal with this weights like this, you just need to be careful not to get your fingers in between. And also I like that we have those little things here. Let me bring this closer, this, because they tell you how they guide you as to how to put them back on top of one another. So this is really cool. So this is what the kettlebell itself looks like if I switch it around. So you have this strong plastic finish around, which is really neat. And of course this red band here, well, it's not a band, it's not a band by itself, it's also strong plastic, and you have the brand of the company Bowflex written there. So when you remove the kettlebell itself to work, this is what it would look like between. So I mean, below it's, as you can see, it's pretty open. So this by itself, yes, you have here those little, let me bring this closer so that you will probably see better. You have some dent here, and that is to keep, of course, the weight secure. Here, this it will go through this entry here, and with the dent it will keep the plate secure. So how would this work? I showed you the kettlebell on the support. So to operate it, you would just have to use this mechanical dial to the weight that you would like to select. And once it's done, you would just lift it from the support. Then you would just hold it either this way if you are using both hands, or this way, and swing it, or whichever, depending on the exercise that you are using it for, your grip will change. So it's pretty neat. I think it's a nice piece of equipment to have in your collection if you are building a home gym. So after testing this kettlebell, I do have a few cons that I would like to mention about it. Of course, it has its pros as well, but I'm going to start with the cons. So on the negative side, what I found when using the kettlebell, well, sampling the kettlebell, was that the weight, because I increased the weight to do the swings as well as the snatches. And what I can say as a negative is that the weight themselves, the plates inside, when you have the plates inside, they rattle a little bit. Well, it's not to the point where you should be worried, but if you are more on the nervous side, you may feel that it, at some point, those plates may fall off as you work with the kettlebell, or whether you swing it or snatch it or do any other exercise. But it's not the case. It's not, I mean, the plate don't rattle that much. You do hear them when you have that momentum. You hear them move slightly and slam each other, but it's not that bad, but it's still worth mentioning. And the other thing also that I would say, which is more on the negative side, is also that the kettlebell itself can be relatively bulky. Well, in its own, it's pleasant to the eye, don't get me wrong, and that is one of the positives that I will touch on in a little bit, but it is bulky too. Like, for instance, when I did the snatches at some point, but it is also true, I went slightly lighter that I would normally snatch, but it is, yes, it can be, the kettlebell itself can be really bulky. And this is also something that I want to say, this bulky part is actually the problem that I have with Bowflex products. Well, I'm not going to say Bowflex product, but some of their products, because this is the second Bowflex products that I own, and the first ones were dumbbells. I do have dumbbells by Bowflex, and they also have that bulky side where sometimes, I mean, for some exercise, they may get in the way. But overall, I mean, I would say that's pretty much the only thing negative that I will have about those dumbbells. And it's worth mentioning it here too with the kettlebell. But other than that, the kettlebell itself is pretty strong. It's well made. It's I forgot to mention earlier, it's also very ergonomic. So it's really well made. I don't see any safety issues there. Besides, as I mentioned before, if you deal with those plates, you want to be careful not to have your fingers in between, because those plates are really, I'm going to show you again. This plate, this is the very first one, so it's the lightest one, and coming in between, I mean, they're pretty bulky. They're heavy, so you definitely, when you handle them, you don't want to, what's this? Oh, that is, okay, that is some grease from the inside here for the plate to, I guess, slide together, but it's coming from inside there. So yes, I was saying, yeah, the only safety issue that I will mention here will be when you deal with those plates. You really want to be careful that your fingers are not in the way when you pick them up or put them back down, because since they're heavy, if they snap your fingers, that will hurt. On the positive side, I like the fact that the number one thing actually that I would say that is really good about this kettlebell, and the main reason why I got it in the first place, or one of the main reasons I got it in the first place, was because it's a space saver. It saves space. So you actually, with this one, you actually have the equivalent of 6 kettlebells in one, and the weight range from 8 pound to 40 pound. So that means, I mean, those weight in between, you have that's about how many kettlebells that you can have. And so if you don't have much space for that many kettlebell, it would just be better to get one that you can adjust the weight of rather than many other different weight kettlebell, which also is what I did with the Bowflex dumbbells, because I live in apartments and I don't have much room around. So having adjustable equipment is definitely a plus, because you get a range of weight that you can work with rather than have different dumbbells or kettlebell for the same weight. And also because you have 6 kettlebells in one, it also makes this kettlebell cheaper rather than buying 6 different ones, because let's be honest, kettlebells can be expensive, and of course the heavier you go, the more money you are going to put on the table. It's just a fact. That's just what it is. The other pro that I found with this is the ergonomic side of this kettlebell. You have, and I mentioned it earlier as well, it's a very well built. The build is strong. It's relatively safe to use. Yes, I mentioned the plate rattled slightly, but it's really nothing to be alarmed about, seriously. And the only safety issue that I will see will be when you deal with the plate. Again, I mentioned it, but how often are you going to deal with those plates? You just turn the mechanical dial to the setting that you want, the weight that you want to use, you lift the kettlebell and you're good to go. So the chances of you dealing with the plates are really small. But again, I want to emphasize on the fact that when you deal with them, really be careful to keep your fingers away from the extremities, top and bottom extremities, and even the sides, because your fingers can get in between and be snapped by those two plates, and you don't want that. And I will also add as one of the pros that the kettlebell itself is really pretty to look at. Seriously, I mean, it makes it, I mean, when a piece of equipment is pleasant to the eye, you can store it in your living room, for instance, and it won't bother anyone. And I do have my mini gym in my own apartment, and so I would just put it right next to my dumbbells. So yes, it is really pleasant to the eye. I mean, I love Bowflex and the colors black and red, like Beast Train Me, right? So this is definitely a good buy, and if you are looking to upgrade your gym, your home gym, I would definitely recommend Bowflex. I mean, you are free to go for another brand, but I've been using Bowflex products, where these are the two products that I have, the dumbbells and the kettlebell, but I just love Bowflex and how they make their products. They are sturdy, they are solid, they are long lasting. So this is why I didn't even think twice when I looked at my dumbbells and thought to myself, okay, I need a kettlebell. Do Bowflex make this? And it's not a product that just got out. It's been out for a while. I just didn't know until recently when I did my search, and I'm glad actually I found it. So and I got it, of course. Where to buy? There are a few places to buy this Bowflex kettlebell, but I want to make you aware of the fact that not many places are legit. I did see a few places online that showcase this kettlebell, but they look to me like scams, because when even trying to perform some research of the website, the company, I couldn't find anything. So really be careful about the places where you will be looking for them, especially if it's extremely cheap. The website that I would definitely recommend to get it for sure will be the Bowflex website itself, which I put in the description below, and that's where I got it as well. And the product itself was $149.99, so about $150. Some other places sell it more expensive, and I don't know why, because I did see this kettlebell being sold for over $250, and some places that even had it at 400 and more, and that was for just one kettlebell. So really be careful again where you are going to buy if you are interested to buy this product. But like I said, the place that I would recommend to get it is the Bowflex website. It's a good investment in my opinion. You will use it for a long period of time. I mean, if you keep your stuff well and you are careful about everything that you own, I don't see why this kettlebell would not last you years and years. My dumbbells, which I use very often, I've had them for a few years now, and they are still strong. And of course I do take care of the things that I own, so they do look new to me. They still do, and that's also because of the material that they are with. I mean, you use the material, you use the piece of equipment, and when you're done, you clean it up before storing it. So that's the care that I have with my equipment. Thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.